In the endless wheat fields of western Kansas where the horizon swallows the sky and the only sound at night is the wind rattling through stalks like dry bones, Emily Harper knelt to fix a broken fence post, her fingers raw from wire and weather, never guessing that in less than 6 hours she would be lashed to a tree with a shovel at her throat and 5 laughing devils deciding whether to dig the hole deeper. One phone call, one whispered code, and the man she married in secret would cross 3 states in a blacked-out bird to turn a quiet farm into a killing ground. Emily Harper, 22, 5'4", in muddy boots, kept her auburn hair twisted under a faded John Deere cap and her dreams folded inside letters from a husband the town had never seen. Jack Harlan, Captain Delta Force, call sign Reaper, had been gone 19 months on a rotation so dark his own mother believed he was pushing paper. In Virginia they met when his truck threw a belt on Harper Road. She handed him sweet tea and a crescent wrench. 3 weeks later they stood before a judge in Salina, rings bought with his hazard pay, vows sworn in whispers. He left her with dog tags, a satellite phone, and the promise, if the world ever touches you wrong, hit red 0, I'll burn it down to get home. Willow Creek measured life in county fairs and Friday night lights. Emily measured it in milk yields and rainfall. She sold eggs at the co-op, patched the barn roof alone, and spoke so softly the checkout girls at the IGA leaned in to hear her. The Bulldogs, Tyler Briggs, Mason Holt, Cody Vance, Blake Ramsey, Dylan Shaw, ruled the high school like feudal lords. Tyler's father owned half the county's cattle and all of its fear. The boys wore Letterman jackets the color of mustard and menace. They had never noticed Emily until the day her apple pie took second place and Tyler decided second was an insult. Saturday dusk, bleeding orange across the midway. Emily loaded ribbon and pie carrier into her dented Silverado. Fireworks cracked overhead. She never saw the circle close. Tyler's hand clamped her elbow. Mason's palm covered her mouth. They dragged her past the tilt a whirl through the cattle barn into the tree line where fairground lights died. Rope bit her wrists, bark scraped her spine, a shovel blade kissed her throat. Tyler's grin was all teeth. Step closer, farm girl, I'll plant you right here. They took turns digging shallow scoops of dirt piling like a grave. Phones flashed, laughter echoed. Emily tasted blood and terror when they turned to fetch beer from Tyler's lifted ram. She worked one thumb free, slid the satellite phone from her pocket, pressed red 0, a single word through cracked lips. Anchor. The line cut, protocol engaged. Fort Bragg 0200 Zulu. Jack Harlan was cleaning carbon from an Mk-18 when the pager vibrated against his chest. Anchor compromised, grid follows. He was moving before the second buzz. No salute, no paperwork. He ghosted past the duty desk, key to safe, pulled a go bag and a suppressed Glock. AC-12 Huron waited on the tarmac. Flight plan filed as medical evacuation. Wheels up in 7 minutes. Back in Kansas the hole was ankle deep. Tyler poured gasoline in a circle, flicking a Zippo just to watch Emily flinch. Cody filmed vertical for TikTok. Dylan, youngest and twitchiest, kept glancing toward the road. Sirens would come eventually but not soon enough. Emily closed her eyes, pictured Jack's scarred knuckles on her cheek and waited for the storm. It arrived without sound. Headlights killed 50 yards out. 5 doors opened in perfect sync. Black figures fanned into the trees like smoke. Tyler spun shovel, raised a red dot, painted his forehead. The shovel clattered. Jack stepped into the firelight. Plate carrier stripped of insignia, eyes flat as a frozen lake. Evening, boys. Tyler reached for the pistol tucked in his waistband. Too slow. Jack's knife opened the webbing of Tyler's belt pants, dropping to his knees. Mason charged, a rifle butt cracked his collarbone. Cody dropped his phone and ran straight into a tripwire. A 550 cord face met mud. Blake pissed himself. Dylan raised both hands and started crying. Jack cut Emily free in one motion. She sagged. He caught her, pressed her face to his neck, felt her shake. I've got you, Em. His voice was gravel over steel behind him. Zip ties, ratcheted shovels became evidence. They loaded the Bulldogs into the SUV's cargo bay like cordwood. Jack drove one-handed. Emily's fingers laced through his. At the sheriff's office, Briggs' domain, he kicked the doors open, dumped the boys on the tile and slid a flash drive across the counter. Body cam footage, GPS logs, audio of Tyler threatening to burn a woman alive. The night clerk went pale. Jack leaned in. Call your boss, tell him Reaper's in town. Sheriff Harlan. Briggs arrived in pajama bottoms and fury. He took one look at his trust son bleeding and bawling and reached for cuffs on his own belt. Jack caught the wrist, twisted until bone creaked. Touch those cuffs and I'll feed you your badge. Briggs' deputies, 2 good old boys who'd ignored Tyler's antics for years, suddenly found religion and read the boys their rights. Loudly crying. News traveled cell towers faster than gossip at church by sunrise. #Justice for Emily trended nationwide. CNN parked vans on the courthouse lawn. Emily, bandaged and hollow-eyed, gave one statement. I just wanted to go home. Jack stayed off camera, a ghost in wraparound shades. The town woke to a new reality. The quiet girl they'd overlooked was now front page. Farmers who once nodded politely now stopped their trucks to shake her hand. The co-op manager doubled her egg order. Sarah, her only friend, brought casseroles and tears, but beneath the sympathy Emily felt the weight of eyes. She wasn't just the victim now, she was the spark. Jack slept 3 hours in the barn loft, rifle across his lap. He watched the road through night vision, waiting for the next shoe. It came at noon Tuesday. A black Escalade rolled slow past the mailbox, tinted windows, government plates. Jack recognized the silhouette behind the wheel. Major Klein, his old CO. The SUV stopped. Klein stepped out, crisp uniform, no smile. "Harlan, we need to talk." Inside the kitchen over burnt coffee, Klein laid it out. The op that sent Jack overseas had gone sideways. A cartel lieutenant escaped custody in Mexico, swore vengeance on the team that clipped his wings. Intel put 2 and 2 together. Reaper in Kansas, farm girl, and the news hit coming soon. Jack's jaw tightened. How long? 48 hours, maybe less. You're burned, Jack. Whole team as you walk away now. We extract Emily, relocate you both. New names, new life. Emily, silent until then, spoke. This is our life, the farm, the land my parents died for. We're not running. Klein looked at her like she was a grenade with the pin half pulled. Jack just nodded. Then we dig in. They turned the Harper place into a fortress. Jack's old squad ghost preacher Doc flew in under civilian cover. They buried pressure plates in the driveway, strung claymores in the corn, set up overwatch in the grain silo. Emily learned to clear rooms with a shotgun, her hands steady now. The quiet girl was gone. Wednesday night the sky cracked open, thunder, then gunfire. The cartel came hard. 8 shooters, suppressed rifles, night vision goggles bought on the dark web. They breached the fence line at 0200. Jack's claymores answered first. Orange blooms lighting the fields. Ghost took the roof, picking off runners. Preacher laid down belt, fed fire from the barn door. Doc dragged a wounded Sicario inside, zip-tied him for intel. Emily held the kitchen. A shooter kicked in the back door. She put 2 rounds. Center mass kept moving. Another came through the window. Jack's knife found his throat before he hit the floor. The fight lasted 11 minutes. When the sun rose, 4 cartel bodies lay in the wheat, 2 more zip-tied in the root cellar. The last tried to run. Emily dropped him from the hayloft with Jack's old M24, clean shot, 300 yards. Klein arrived with feds at dawn. The surviving Sicario sang names, Roots, Money Men. The cartel cell was gutted, but the cost was carved into the farmhouse walls. Bullet holes, blood on the pine floor. The barn roof half collapsed. Emily stood on the porch, shotgun across her arms, and watched the coroner load bodies. Jack came up behind her, wrapped his arms around her waist. "We held," he said. "We more than held," she answered. The town came together like never before. Farmers brought tractors to clear debris. The church ladies cooked for a week. The high school principal expelled the remaining Bulldogs on the spot. Tyler, still in county lockup, got word his crew had turned state's evidence. His father, Sheriff Briggs, faced federal racketeering charges. The empire crumbled. 3 weeks after the siege, a manila envelope slid under the farmhouse door at dawn. No stamp, no address, just Emily's name scrawled in black marker. Jack found it when he stepped out to feed the horses. Inside, a flash drive wrapped in plastic and a Polaroid of Emily's parents, arms around each other in front of the barn. 2018 stamped in the corner. On the back, a single line in blue ink, ask about the well. They carried it to the kitchen table, sunlight slicing through bullet holes in the curtains. Jack booted a hardened laptop, the one he used in Kandahar. The drive opened to folders labeled survey contracts, payments. Geological scans showed the Harper well wasn't just water, it punched into a natural gas dome the size of a small city. Pressure readings off the charts. Valuation $420 million at current futures. Emily's hand went to her mouth. Jack scrolled a 2017 email from Briggs Energy to a shell company in Panama. Secure Harper parcel, remove obstacles. Another file, insurance payout on the barn fire, routed to an account in the Caymans. The final document was a hand-drawn map of the farm with a red X over the well and the words final solution in Briggs' handwriting. Emily's voice cracked. They killed Mom and Dad for gas. Jack closed the laptop and tried to finish the job with you. They called Klein. The major arrived in an unmarked suburban tie, loosened eyes bloodshot. He took one look at the files and whistled low. This is bigger than Kansas. We're talking senators, cartel money, EPA violations. You just handed me a RICO case on a silver platter. But Klein wanted them gone. Witness protection tonight, new names, new state. The cartel will send more than 8 next time. Emily stood. I was born in this dirt, my blood's in it, we stay. Klein stared, then nodded once. Then we go loud. The feds descended like locusts. Black Hawks thumped overhead at noon. Agents in windbreakers tore through Briggs Ranch. Seized servers, flipped safes. By nightfall Tyler's father was in federal custody. Orange jumpsuit, wrists cuffed to a belly chain. The cartel's Kansas lieutenant, a slick operator named Raul Vega, was dragged from a safe house in Dodge City screaming in Spanish about diplomatic immunity. Court became theater. Emily took the stand in a navy blazer, hair pulled back, voice steady as a metronome. She played the tree footage on the courtroom screen. Tyler's shovel, the gasoline, her own whispered anchor. The jury gasped. Jack sat in the back row, arms crossed, eyes daring anyone to look away. Dylan Shaw, the weakest link, cracked on day 3. He detailed the barn fire. Tyler 15 giggling as he soaked hay bales in diesel. Briggs watching from the truck. Emily's parents never woke up. The verdict came fast. Tyler 25 to life, the others 10 to 15. Briggs life, no parole. The judge ordered restitution. Every cent of the gas dome profits funneled into a trust for Emily. The farm was hers, free and clear. But money didn't heal bullet holes in the walls or the scar across Emily's ribs where a Sicario's blade had kissed her. Jack patched drywall by day, trained local deputies by night. He taught Emily to run a plate carrier, to pie corners, to breathe through a rifle scope. She taught him to birth calves, to read the sky for rain, to make pie crust flaky with vinegar. They moved like a unit, now two halves of the same heartbeat. Spring brought green shoots through blood-soaked soil. Emily planted wildflowers around the well-capped black-eyed Susan's coneflowers, prairie clover. She hung a swing from the old oak, the one that once held her ropes. Kids from town came to push each other, laughing where tears had fallen. The settlement built Harper House, a community center with a gym, a food bank, a veterans PTSD wing. Emily cut the ribbon herself, scissors shaking only a little. Jack stood behind her, hand on her shoulder, pride in his eyes. The plaque read, "For those who speak softly and carry thunder." Years rolled. Grace learned to drive the tractor before the pickup Cole could strip. In Arkansas 15 blindfolded by 12. The town elected Emily to the school board. She banned Letterman jackets as gang colors. Jack coached the football team, defense only. They never lost a home game. One October evening Jack found Emily at the well again, satellite phone in her palm, screen cracked but red, zero still glowing. The sun bled gold across the wheat stubble. "Think we'll ever need it?" she asked. He took the phone, tossed it into the flower bed. "Storms past, Em, we're the storm now." They rebuilt the barn bigger, painted Harlan in 10-foot white letters across the tin roof, visible from the highway for miles. Tourists stopped for photos. A Netflix crew offered 7 figures for the rights. Emily turned them down. Some stories stay home. Every 4th of July the town gathered at the farm. Fireworks boomed like artillery, but nobody flinched anymore. Kids chased fireflies while Jack grilled steaks and Emily served pie. First place every year since when the last rocket faded. They stood on the porch, hands linked, watching their children dance in the dark. The oak tree became legend, a bronze plaque bolted to the trunk. Courage grows in silence. Teenagers left quarters and wildflowers. Old men tipped their hats. The quiet girl and the soldier had rewritten the map of Willow Creek with blood, fire, and unbreakable love. Drive Harper Road at dusk and you might see them, 2 silhouettes against the sunset. The farm glowing like a promise kept. The call was answered. The storm never left. If you love your mom and dad, the ones who taught you right from wrong, with calloused hands and quiet faith, smash that subscribe button and keep the stories coming. We're all family here.